I didn't know it was going to be a live thing.
All right. Howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Cascade Effect. It's a bonus live stream today. It has been 1 year to the day since Sergeant Detective Jacob Try killed Mike Hanson on his own property. And we wanted to hold some type of remembrance for him. And so we've invited Angel and Tim, his brother Alan, and his niece Darcy to kind of reminisce for a little while and talk about Mike and and just let y'all know a little bit more about who he was and what he stood for. So I'm here with Tony as well. Tony Rosales is on the stream, and Kevin should be logging on here in a little while. So Angel and Tim, how are y'all doing tonight?
Great. How about you?
Good. Doing well.
Good.
Yeah, it's not the easiest topic to talk about on an anniversary like this, but like what has been going through your heads today, you two?
Pick the stage.
Try not to think about it, honestly.
Quiet.
Just been trying to focus on other things, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
In my honest opinion, but also you gotta take some time to think about him and kind of just I don't know, miss him, I guess.
Yeah, for sure, man. Absolutely. Yeah, we've said this before on some of these. Like I have no idea what y'all been going through for the last year and like everything that's happened. I've never had to deal with anything of the sort, so I don't know. But it's been very, very cool to see y'all, like how resolute y'all have been and how like open y'all have been to helping me and Tony and Kevin and Bart and the other members with everything that we've been doing.
I think that's the other way around there. You guys are helping us out.
I agree.
Yeah, it could be a mutually beneficial relationship, but we're part, me and Tony and Kevin and well, Bart is kind of an unofficial member, but we're members of, the Libertarian Party of Montana, and we are constantly struggling to get like messages that we think are important out there. And this story is sadly a perfect story to help get like a good message out there, and something that the Libertarian Party and liberty loving people everywhere would like to have out in the world and have more people live by. So there's probably some mutual benefit in all of us coming together in that one room that one day. But man, yeah, the stuff that I've learned over the past 8 months, digging into Mike's life and y'all's life, and it's been extremely impactful on me, and I really, really do. Not everybody will open up and allow you to present their family's history on camera in like great detail and like with massive vulnerability. And I very much appreciate y'all being willing and able and almost enthusiastic to do so most of the time. So
Try to be.
Thank
Try to
you.
be. Yeah, I think we'd be pretty lost without you guys. You know, kind of suffering in silence, and now we finally have somebody who will listen, and not only listen but share the message. So that's nice.
Yeah, man.
It's been helping it get around a lot. Have you seen that people are going out of their way to get doormats to match your sweaters that you guys created now? They've been putting doormats that say "Show me the warrant" in front of their door now to go with their
way.
sweaters. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's really good. I like that. I need to get that
Yeah.
door. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah,
cool.
come back with a warrant or whatever. Yeah,
Yep.
that's pretty good.
Go get your effing warrant.
That's pretty great. Yeah, Alan, you were on either episode 2 or 3 now. I can't remember. All the episodes kind of blend together. What has been like? You've been following along as I've seen you in the comments on each episode. So what's been your like take on what's been happening with the show and this past year?
Well, I'm so happy that you guys are taking this on. So many times something happens, especially like with the cops or whatever, and you just feel the victim, and there's nothing you can do about it. You just take it. They came onto his property, 89 seconds. They shot him in the back twice. It's just no way that's right. That's wrong.
Yeah,
That has to stop.
yeah, 100%.
To shoot a man in the back on his own property, and what you guys said, they had 20 some counts of wrongful doing on the cops' part, where they didn't follow procedures. That's just a bad thing, and they gave him a Purple Heart. Come on, that guy should go to jail for murder. 89 seconds, 2 shots in the back. That's got to be premeditated murder.
Well, we're definitely trying to get something, at least more people to come in and like rule on it. Like we don't have in the end, we don't have the full power of anything.
Yeah.
We're just trying to get enough momentum in order for the case to be heard by people who could make that change. So hopefully that will happen. But man, I mean, Tim said, you just alluded to it. Tim just said it, like suffering in silence. Like how many people have to do that when like police or just law enforcement in general, or the government in general messes with you and you have no recourse at all?
Well, and it makes it hard for anybody to move on from that, because then there's no true letting go or true mourning that can happen, because you know that somebody murdered your family member and there's nothing that you can do about it because of how high of seat they're in, and too many families have to go through that.
Yeah.
My dad was in law enforcement. He was ended up being the chief inspector in the customs over, I think, 3 or 4 different states. And Customs, Border Patrol, whatever, they're law enforcement. And Mike was an MP. So it's not like like I'm against all cops, but I think it'd be pretty hard to find a cop that doesn't know one of his buddies is doing something wrong and not doing anything to stop him. And that's got to change.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we've discovered some things. I mean, we're not going to present a bunch of stuff right now, but we've had people from the sheriff's department reach out to us, and we've heard stories from inside the sheriff's department of people quitting because they couldn't handle what was going on in there.
Yeah.
So, there are good people, and there are good cops. We're not against all cops. We're just the ones that do not do their job well need to suffer the like consequences that they inflict. Like it's just not. They can't have immunity. They can't do things with impunity.
I think one of the interesting things that I've noticed since we started this is just the number of folks who've reached out to us, either through email, through letters. We're still trying to even figure out how do we approach some of these other stories that we've heard about in our community. Because this is just like the 3 of us, the 4 of us, kind of working on this, and other cases as we hear about them. And so, just knowing that there's the sheer number of people who've contacted us, I mean, there has to be many other folks who haven't contacted us in the first place, and there's a lot of stories that need to get out for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that is 100% true. We get messages and emails and all sorts of people reaching out, talking about like their interaction that killed a family member or ruined their business or sent them to jail, even though they were innocent. And that's one great thing that has come from Mike's death is how many people are now reaching out and telling us like this, similar things have happened to them. And we're hoping to, be able to give all those people a voice as well. Darcy, how have you been doing today?
I'm good. How are
Yeah?
you doing?
Doing well.
Good.
What have been, what have been your thoughts over this past year? I'm sure it's been a roller coaster ride and a lot of ups and downs, but like, what is something that, what's just something that you've taken away from the last year and reflect on?
I have to say I'm truly grateful to all of you for everything that you're doing for our family, for Mike, and just I'm outraged, fuming beyond imagination at the audacity of the law enforcement. And what they put him through, and they, they killed him for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing that we keep coming back to over and over again was he wasn't on the warrant. They weren't there to serve him. He wasn't, he was doing nothing wrong. That's the most infuriating part. And, we just keep coming back to that over and over again because they, in the coroner's inquest, they made it seem like the case was all about him, and the case had nothing to do with him. He wasn't a suspect. He wasn't on the warrant. He had nothing to do with any of it, but they treated him like he was the villain of the story. And that was incredibly misleading to that jury. And infuriating to listen to.
Yeah. And disrespectful to Mike.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, even after the fact too. I mean, when going to see the family, Tim, sorry, how they treated you and your family, and you keep kicking rocks, and then you keep hearing these stories, and you're like, no, and then it's yes, and I think the weirdest part about all of this too is every time that we hit a snag or every time we're moving through, and we always have him in our thoughts. I don't think there's a time I don't take a shower too. And I'm just sitting there going, no, yep, no, yep. Oh my gosh, I just had an epiphany. What? No. And the people that you guys are talking about, the people that came out, there's definitely a higher power in all of this, or else I think it would have stopped dead somewhere else in all of this. And I think, and it's weird coming out of my mouth because my faith has been shaken in many instances, but every time I see this, I'm like, there's something around it that makes it special in a way, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I completely agree, man. It's been extremely, lots of ups and downs. We get stuck on something. We get hit with that the judge denying the petition within 2 hours. That lit my fire, man. It was getting to be a struggle. It's a grind doing this kind of thing, and that one I was just like, oh, we can't let this go. This is insane.
And for your all's patience, I mean, here we are on the anniversary. We got so many things that have been working. And again, my condolences to you and your family. I can't say it enough. I think we've really integrated ourselves to be able to feel that. But when somebody said to me the other day when we were talking about having this podcast, and I had to look at the guys and I thought to myself, wow, we're already here on a year. And how quickly it comes up is astounding. Even though it seems slow, it's extremely quick in so many other ways.
A lot of times things like this seem to go away with time, you know, and I'm sure that's what the Slaughter and Try are hoping, that it'll just kind of fade away. It doesn't fade for me.
No.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, that's, I guarantee you that's what happens most of the time is, you know, people don't have a recourse. And so it just kind of does fade away and doesn't ever come back up again because they have no way to get it out there publicly. And
right.
Yeah. But, you know, when you have a family that allows a bunch of non-professional investigators and filmmakers actually publish it, and maybe stuff actually changes and maybe stuff gets done, and that's just kind of what we're.
I think you guys have gotten more done than any investigator we could have hired. So you guys have done amazing.
Oh, thanks.
All right, we'll send you the bill later. Don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, we'll ship that out. And I'll share another story. So I got some the Liberty things got dropped off to my office. I don't know the lady who dropped them off, and she came in, and I was sitting in the back because it was science class, and I had my hat on. Usually you guys see me with my black hat so I don't usually look like a teacher when I'm teaching. I don't know what it is, but anyway, she's like, "Are you are?" Because I had to come out of my classroom to meet her, and she's like, "You are?" And I was like, "Yes, I'm Kevin." She goes, "Oh my gosh," she goes, "This is awesome." And I think the older community that we hit, and I think me and Tony were talking about this, and I had somebody just walk up and donate $100. I mean, the things that inspire us, and I think Mike has inspired all of this, and you guys that are coming up behind this too. I mean, the family members, I can't imagine. I just can't imagine. But when we look at all the good things that are working in this whole entire thing, it's like, would he want us to celebrate? You know, would he want us all just to get up and go get drinks and then come right back? That's how I feel with Mike.
Yeah,
Definitely would.
that's a good question. Tim, like what did your dad do to celebrate events and celebrate anniversaries and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, to celebrate, I mean, generally, if just be around family, and if I mean, have a few drinks, maybe.
White Sulphur Springs.
Yeah.
And 2 Bassett.
Yeah. Hot springs and some beer, you know.
Every time. Yeah.
Maybe
That was
next
the
year.
reward to everybody with him. It was ready for 2 Bassett in the hot springs.
Yeah.
Maybe next year. That's where we should do it a little bit before. I've never been up there.
It's a
Oh, you
blast.
gotta.
We should just do a live stream from the hot springs. That sounds
Right.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Darcy,
get to
do you have any good memories of celebrations with Mike? Darcy.
Well, you know, it's a couple of days after his birthday, right?
Seafrog.
Yeah. Is what, 2 days, right? 2 days since.
Yeah.
Birthday? Yeah.
And my birthday is the 26th. We're a year and 6 days apart, and we always had conversations back and forth, and you know, it was just a good time.
How'd y'all celebrate as kids growing up, Alan?
When we were younger, we had a good family when us kids were young. You know, we weren't real rich. I can remember Mom folding newspaper hats at our birthday parties, you know, and it was just fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, Darcy, do you have any distinct memories of celebrating any events with Mike?
Not really, other than being up at his cabin when we were younger and making ice cream in the snow, and I don't know, just crazy stuff, you know, shooting BB guns and just hanging out as a family, honestly.
Yeah.
That's really what it was all about, was being together.
Homemade ice cream. How can it not be about that, you know?
In the middle of winter in Montana.
Oh,
Yeah.
That sounds
You know, one of those times we made ice cream. We didn't have any ice, and we used snow. Do you know how long it takes to melt enough snow to make ice cream?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yes.
The question is, though, how did it taste?
It tasted okay. I mean, it wasn't as firm as it should have been because we got tired of cranking.
That's fair.
That's what kids are for.
Yeah, and we used you up.
Right.
Yeah, Tony, what's been another thing that you've experienced or learned or over the past, months of our investigation and stuff?
Yeah, I think sorry. Playing with fidget things while I'm doing things. That's
I
the
did the same
ADHD speaking. I think there's a lot. I mean, from the number of folks who end up coming up to Kevin and I, he mentioned that. The folks who've reached out to us. But I think the other thing is I think for a more salient point is the problems or issues that we have in this community. You kind of wish were just one-offs, but it is something that's, within our community. It's systemic. It's all over Montana as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just nice to be able to demonstrate. You were mentioning this earlier that, it's just a few of us, but being able to make this sort of impact, especially I remember when Kevin and I were dropping off the grand jury petition and they asked us if we had a lawyer or if any of us were lawyers or if we had a lawyer look at any of this stuff. And to me, it's just, it was interesting because I just thought that was sort of it made an impactful point to me just to say that we don't need to be lawyers. We don't need to be professionals in this area to make sure that our rights are being upheld. And I think that's a powerful thing for all of us.
Heck yeah, completely agree. All right, we've got another set of Hansons that just joined. You want to introduce yourselves? Oh, and another.
And another one.
We're here. Hey guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey,
Laura Hanson, Arliss Hanson, and Debbie Hanson.
There we go.
Big baby Hanson.
Hanson?
The baby.
Hanson?
Timmy took
Hanson.
over.
Well, how are y'all doing tonight? What's y'all's day been like today so far?
Remember,
A lot of stuck in your head,
Yeah.
thinking of the situation, wondering how we can progress it.
Yeah.
our daddy
Yeah.
wasn't a peon.
First off, I guess, or second, whatever, thank you, Jake.
Real. Thank
For
you.
real.
I mean,
Thank you, Jake.
y'all. Seriously.
Walking in
And
on this.
everybody,
You guys.
everybody in on it.
Yeah.
We can't do a lot here, but we sure do appreciate you guys putting this out there. Thank you. Mike was
You're welcome.
quiet and we kind of inherited it, so we're weird, but we appreciate it.
That is completely fair. If I had my way, I would sit in a room by myself and not talk to anybody basically ever. So I completely understand that mindset. Sadly, my wife would never let that happen. Yeah, we were talking about it earlier, like the fact that y'all's family has been so helpful and willing to participate in this and help us and allow us to help in whatever way we can. Like
We get that from Dad.
Yeah.
Because we owe him, he gave everything for us.
Yeah. Arliss, you were with him just very soon before he died.
He was always with me.
You were with him on his birthday a couple days before. How did y'all celebrate? What did y'all do that day?
We gone up to the Denny's and at was that a Flying J, Tim?
Yep.
Up
Yeah,
into the hill.
Flying. Yeah, and we had lunch there, and drove around a little bit, and just enjoyed the day, and
Yeah.
the low energy, just relaxing, good time.
What was his dish? What did he like at Denny's?
I can't even remember, which is a bad thing to say, but I had one of my better pictures from him that ended up getting taken. But
From Denny's.
anyway, it
He
was,
loved his hamburgers.
What Dad liked
Yeah.
what was it?
when Dad came down to visit. He would every morning he would make corned beef hash and eggs, and I'd go down to his camper, and that's what he would make every morning with fresh eggs and hash browns, and he'd fry it up on his griddle. That's what he would have.
I bet
Doesn't
you'd
get
be
much
pissed.
better than that. Yeah.
I bet you'd be pissed about the price of eggs, man.
Oh,
Hopefully you guys had your own chickens.
we went
He
on an
liked
egg strike over here.
Yeah, we did.
Not buying eggs for $40. No.
Not a chance.
Nuh-uh.
That corned beef hash breakfast, that's got to be one of my favorite things. I love good corned beef. That's so stinking good. Nice. Yeah. Well, do y'all have any stories or things that have really stuck with you over the last year, or like basically just any memories about Mike that you want to share that we haven't talked about on the show yet?
Name a subject.
I got one.
Go ahead.
Let's go.
I don't know how old I was because I was really little, but this lovely lady over here, see that? Where are you? There you are.
I'm here.
This beautiful woman put me in a raft when I was like a year and a half. I don't know how old, 2, 3.
Oh,
I was
shit.
little. She said, let's go for a boat ride. We were
Mhm.
out camping with our dad. And she put me in this raft and proceeded to push me out into the middle of a lake all by myself.
No.
It was
Right on.
cold.
I remember seeing them turn into little ants and then dad running out. And he jumped in the water and swam all the way out to me. I don't remember anything else.
I remember he got out.
But I know he saved my
I remember number one that water was so cold when you were only a few feet out. I didn't want to get in there, and I went to
Let
go
her go.
farther.
Just let her
Number two, when he got out there, he giggled when he swam up to the raft. He says, "What are you doing way out here?" And that was his mentality. He would laugh about stuff
Yep.
like that, and the situation. Yeah, there was danger, but everything was all good, and that
Which
was a
one
good
of
one.
you girls was it? He was telling us, and he chuckled and told this story to
Frying
us so many times. The frying pan, yeah. One of them said to him, he was like, "I got a surprise for you." The surprise. Tell him, Debbie. Tell him the surprise.
Oh, Lordy. Okay.
Big imagination.
I was just a little kid, and I told him in the morning, I have a surprise for you. And I was a little kid. I had no clue. I don't even know what I woke up and I didn't know what the surprise was going to be. So
She made one.
I decided I made one up. I thought I would just hit him over the head with a frying pan. He was asleep. And so I climbed up on him and I hit him over the head with the frying pan. And he woke up and he looked at me and I looked down at him in terror because it's like, what did I just do? He looked at me and he just started giggling. He was laughing. I said, I told you I had a surprise for you. And he thought that was the funniest thing because I had no surprise. I made it up. And that was what I
Donged it
came up
off his
with.
head? Did you dong it right off his head? Like,
I did. I hit him with the frying pan.
wow.
That's
That's a man of patience if that's all he did, man.
Oh,
He
yeah.
had so much patience.
You have no clue.
Yeah, no kidding.
My dad, he was so gentle and so sweet. I like rabbits. I breed rabbits. I have a lot of rabbits. He came down here to visit me, and there was a new litter of rabbits. I had to go in there and count them and make sure they were okay. And he was here visiting, and it was cold out. And he came out there with me, and I said, "Oh, here they are. We got to get him." And I was taking him out of the nest to count him, and he was just like a father in the waiting room. He was so excited about it. He's like, "Here." He took off his hat, his beanie hat. He said, "Here, put him in here," because so they wouldn't be cold. I have a picture.
You should have it. Oh, that's the crazy.
You have the beanie.
One of them. I don't think that was his. I don't think so.
He put all those little baby bunnies in his hat so they wouldn't be cold. And he said, "Here, put them in here." And I have a picture of his hat, his beanie with all the little bunny rabbits in it, so we could check them out. But he was just so excited.
That's awesome.
He cared about that stuff.
Yeah.
no matter what stories we tell and how good he sounds about the patience or the love, unless you knew him, this doesn't do him justice. I mean, you just had to know him to know
Never
how
understand.
awesome he was, and to know what a light of bullshit this
Yeah.
is.
I think you're selling yourselves a little short. I think you know more about a man by the children he raises.
Yeah.
And I think all of y'all have been incredible throughout this whole thing, and I think he would be so proud of everything that y'all have been doing. And I think, yeah, I think people absolutely get the picture of who he was. Probably, I mean, definitely not the full thing because they don't know him, but like they know y'all a little better from watching the show, and through y'all, I think they know him more. So,
Well, that's a testimony. I mean, when Tony was, or Tim, when I talked to him on the second one, we weren't going to move forward unless Tim and the family, because we're pressing some buttons that we can't fathom. And I think during that time, you guys let us do this. Actually, I mean, it was you guys who I really wanted to make sure you guys had that decision. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. They just think that we just jumped on and just started this and went off on our merry way to be these rogue whatever.
Yeah, people think they're exploiting y'all and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, thank you. I mean,
which is absurd.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, when we found out that you guys were on this, it was more of a feeling of relief than anything. You know, it was like, wow, somebody cares. It was kind of at least how I felt about it. It was amazing. I couldn't be more grateful.
He did. He came home and he doesn't cry very easily. And this man was in tears with how much relief and how thankful he was. He's like, we never get the help like that. And this does not happen to our family. Like, and just broke down about how happy he was that somebody cared enough to say something and do something.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah,
They thought
crazy
Daddy
stuff.
was a nobody, but he wasn't a nobody.
No,
Absolutely not.
Daddy, if you don't
nobody's a nobody.
I do.
Nobody's
I
a
want to say
nobody.
that too. I appreciate you guys so much, and me being the procrastinator that I am, I wanted to email you guys and just tell you thank you from the bottom of my heart, because you guys don't understand. I'm so glad that this is in your hands and that somebody's going to do something about it.
more than words can explain.
We appreciate you guys, and we're behind you 100%, just so y'all know.
Yes.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
Thank
and
you.
Debbie, your story just made me think about how animals seem to be caring for animals seem to be a massive theme throughout your entire family. Do y'all have any idea how that started or why that's the case? Because every story with y'all seems to involve animals of some sort.
That's always been animals. Dad loved animals. He loved caring for things. It wasn't just animals. It was caring. Dad was caring. And it wasn't just animals, but that's true.
He's very loving.
I remember he would always just take us out to enjoy, nature and the land, and that's what he did.
Didn't you have a baby duck?
I had
like that little baby duck you put back in the cabbage or some shit.
Animals was it was a big thing. It was about caring, and animals are easy to care about.
Yeah.
He used to take a little video camera everywhere he went, and he'd go driving around out in the woods just to video the animals that he saw.
We would go out and we would watch for deer, and we would any wildlife that we could see. That was the goal. You just look and see what you could see. You wouldn't mess with it.
Yep.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't we catch a baby bat or something at Uncle Alan's cabin or something?
A baby what?
A baby bat.
A baby.
Oh yeah, we had a bat.
Do you remember that?
Wait,
Yeah, in my house.
Darcy's cracking up. So Darcy, do you have information on this baby bat?
Probably
knows. She remembers better than me.
Come on, Darcy.
Well, there was a couple instances of baby bats that were rescued when we lived in Idaho, but I don't know. It may have been the one that we had flying around in the farmhouse,
Yeah, I think it was.
probably, but
I don't know what house it was. I don't remember very well. I just remember there was a bat.
well, you were younger too when that
Yeah.
happened,
My
but I
son
don't really
Justin,
remember this.
my son Justin come up with the idea of cranking the stereo up. And the bat just went and landed on the wall and just hung there. We went up and got him with a towel. When his sonar was all messed up with the loud stereo. And I guess that's how you catch bats.
That makes sense.
You know,
Hit him with bass.
generally there would only be like 1 or 2 bat stories, but I can remember him coming home from, his heating and air school in Colorado, and he'd found a bat in the pallets. And there's multiple stories of that. And I can remember turtles in 5-gallon buckets from Gibson's Pond, and toads and snakes.
Yep.
He had a baby rattlesnake. And yeah.
You want to see a grown man look like a fool? Go fly fishing with me at night when the bats are flying.
You don't need that to look like a fool, Kevin.
Well, that's true. That is absolutely dead on. Yeah. Yeah. How many times I said to her, "What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Are you serious? What am I doing?" Yeah.
But catch them.
I was on my.
Fly fishing?
Oh yeah, they just latch right on. Oh yeah,
That's
they
cool.
get you on the
That's
backcast. Yeah.
Oh wait, were you fishing for fish or bats?
Both.
I
I
never
did
fish
not
for
know that.
bats. I never fish for bats.
I didn't know that.
I
I
usually
kind of want
leave.
right now.
I'm out. See you later. Bats are out. That's it. They're all going to be all over my fly and coming at, because when you come back, right, the fly comes back, so they think it's right here and they buzz your face. I mean, it's like, boom. So wherever that fly is going, the bats come in and they want to.
Oh, I guess that does make sense.
Oh,
Never
Oh.
thought about that ever.
Really,
ask
I'm
Ann
gonna
about.
try.
Yeah, ask Ann. I run like a baby. 'Cause they can hit you in the head. You get them on your thing, and they're squawking on your fly, and you got to get the forceps out. No, thank you. Oh gosh.
Jeez.
No, thank you.
We're about halfway into this show, and I just want to share a screen real quick for anybody who's watching. Right now, we're accepting donations. We're about to start buying advertisements. So if you go over to PeacefulSea.network and click on Cascade Effect donations, you can donate to either our petition costs with the Supreme Court writ of mandamus that we're going through right now, or advertisement cost. Advertisements right now are preferable, and every single dollar that goes into it will go into advertising specifically around Cascade County to get more people aware of what is going on and try to get more folks aware of
For the record, my vote is for the billboard right next to Slaughters.
If I had $4,000, I would pop it up there, man.
I will.
If I could drop it on that highway right there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! If anybody's listening who owns any of those up there,
Please.
Yeah,
Help us.
so we
gosh,
have
that'd
gotten a
be great.
lot of people reach out. We've gotten people
Oh, yeah.
who've reached out and said that they will donate to specific ad campaigns. We've had people who said, I'll wrap my entire car with the Cascade Effect logo. We've had
Dude,
people.
I'd do that. I'm down with that.
Nice.
Just
cool.
saying. Just saying. Send it my way.
We've
I
had
just put
people.
bumper sticker.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We've had people. Who own advertising companies and newspapers reach out and say they would give us some free ad space and stuff like that. So we're putting all the ads together right now, and you should start seeing stuff around the county in the next few weeks. It's been incredible to see these kinds of messages and emails come in from these folks that I don't know. I've never met them, but they watch the show and they support what we're doing and what Mike stood for and trying to get justice for him. So it's pretty incredible. I think.
Knowing
Go ahead.
knowing how many testaments to what kind of a man Dad was. And what is it called when they declassified him or when they had him ask him the questions and he was being vague and dancing around?
Oh,
What is not? Anyways, the way he sounded, he was so arrogant, and I, urge anybody to look at that picture he's holding of that heart.
yeah. Yeah, no kidding.
Look at his hand. That's all.
And we've said this many times before on our Q&A sessions, but you can go to the official investigation website where you can look at all the documents that we have, all the public documents. You can listen to the recording of the coroner's inquest, and you can hear every single word that Josh Rackey and Sheriff Slaughter and Jacob Try and a few others said during that sham of a trial. You can listen to every word of it, and I really encourage you, if you haven't watched episode 3 where we really analyze that whole thing, I would encourage you to either watch that episode or just go listen to the last 10 minutes of the coroner's inquest, because the last Josh Rackey's final speech is the most disgusting thing I've ever heard. Somebody say.
Where is that at? 'Cause I haven't. But I looked to. Where did
What's
you say
our-
it was?
What's our investigation website, Tony? I always forget that one.
It's just the CascadeEffect.net. Make sure there's no www, which is so weird.
Cascade Effect. There you go. Boom.
All right.
Cascade Effect.
Thank you.
All documents related.
Perfect.
Yeah, and you can donate at peacefulsea.network/support Cascade if you want to donate to any of those causes that we're running right now. And those won't run forever. We want just a big ad push right now because, after that petition got denied, I got a little reignited fire.
Keep the fire lit.
Yeah, I wanted to put a shout out. I think I saw Honey Bear pop on. I don't know if she's still on there. She's a huge supporter of yours. She's very close to my family, and I had to persuade her, and I sat her. I remember when she came to visit. She's from Utah, and we sat in the living room, and we were having correspondence and whatever, and warning us of the dangers, not just me, but the dangers of how do they say it, shitting in your own pond or whatever it was, too close to home or whatever. And then she came, and we sat down, and we started going through the rough draft of the case, and it's been, I think she can probably contest to it better than me, but it's been like a nagging thing for her to watch all the time, and she's always saying, when's the next one, when's the next one, when's the next one, when's the next one, what's going on, when's the next one. So
give her my number, Kevin, and she can annoy me rather than you.
But thanks for following all of this.
I don't know her, but I like her.
Right?
Oh, you would love her. Yeah.
She's shown a lot of support.
Yeah. I do think it was a terrible, terrible tragedy that happened to y'all's family. And I think that if you focus on people involved that didn't consider y'all, didn't consider Mike, didn't actually consider the ramifications of their actions, you can go down a really dark path that will get you to a very negative place. But then if you step back and you look at the response to the show, you look at the comments, you look at yes, there are some not great comments, but the vast majority of people commenting and reaching out and posting are good, like supportive, want justice, and more just want people to listen and not be so stuck in how they're thinking. Like
kind of box.
I think and I just think that one of the biggest lessons for me from this whole thing is there are way more good people in this world than there are bad, and it just takes a couple bad to attempt to ruin it for all the good people. So I think that's one thing that has been most impactful for me.
Only takes one light like his to shine it back at the bad.
His light was like the freaking brightest.
There you go. Yeah, I would like to. I would like to hear something about Mike from each of y'all, if that's doable. Just something about him that you remember, something, a story, just who he was, like what his character was, and if y'all could, provide that, that'd be great. So, Tim, can I start with you?
Yeah. Well, something. I guess he's just. He was an incredible and caring person. He didn't really judge you a whole lot. He was just wanted to be there for you and help you in any way that he could. And that was a lot of him, was just helping. That's what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And that's my honest opinion.
Yeah. Angel?
I agree with all that. And on top of it, he also, like with Debbie laughing at her for hitting him head with frying pan, that would not be my reaction. He had very, very good understanding and patience and sense of humor for anything innocent, children and animals especially. And he was a real sucker for them. I remember coming home one day and my daughter had told me that, ha ha ha, guess what? I never told you. I was like, what's that, little lady? She's like, Papa did a little fire in the living room with us so we could roast some marshmallows.
Nice.
I was like, you guys had a fire in my living room? And she was like,
Nice.
he said it was safe. Don't worry. We did the right thing. I was like, but he just liked doing cute little innocent fun things like that. And he got a lot of joy from making the innocents happy.
It's only innocent because you still have your house.
And he would probably laugh if my house burned down too, to be honest. But it was safe.
Alan,
He'd
do you
say
got?
it's okay. We can
It's
build it.
okay. It's replaceable. Family time isn't. Yeah.
We'll rebuild it.
There we go. Alan, you got anything?
Yeah, he was caregiver for both mom and dad as they passed. And he was talking to me one time, telling me how it was helping mom have a bath, and he said how hard that was for him, but he did that. He was there with dad. Dad had a lot of troubles, and his there when when dad had dirty pants and everything. In fact, one time he told me that they went to Walmart, which they did a lot, and dad disappeared like he always does. That was his thing, is to just see if he could get away. And Mike found him out in the middle of the street. He didn't know where he was, and ushered him back into Walmart. But the care that he gave mom and dad, and then I know Tim and Angel, when he was staying around with you guys, he always had a kid in his lap when I'd call him and talk to him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Always.
Those kids still talk about it. It's a daily thing. Every day they bring him up still. A year later, they're still doing. Just yesterday, they were eating dinner, and one of the kids just asked, hey, who's your favorite grandpa? And they said, Papa Mike. And they said, mine too. And then they started going off on memories about him too. It's every day.
Yep. And he enjoyed it. It wasn't something that you had to ask him to do. He would always ask you, hey, do you and Angel wanna go have dinner or something? I can watch the kids. It was something that was always offered.
Yeah.
We didn't have to ask him.
That's amazing. That's the best kind of gift, when you don't have to ask for it,
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Darcy, you got a good story or a good thing to say about Mike?
Well, my dad kind of took mine. Anyway, he was just very gentle. I would consider him gentle, but he's not going to take crap from anybody either. He'll stand up for himself or other people, but definitely a caretaker, and just quality time spending with family. And man, there's so many memories, good ones, and it just sucks that we don't have any more with him, you know. But I feel like he's here with us and watching over all of this, so that yeah,
as he was.
so
It'd be perfect
never
to push
forgotten.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. How about any of the three Hansons in the bottom panel?
Okay, I've got a
He came first.
I got a few you know, just a few elaborations on what's been said. A couple as far as the fire in the living room.
We're not elaborating. Remember stories about
Oh
that.
no, I'm remembering the character.
Oh, yeah.
He loved to safely push the boundaries and
Yeah.
aggravatingly push the boundaries to the laws, and you had to be a little bit wild and, you know, stand up to have the order, you know, and to push back on
Oh,
Uncle
that hits
Alan and
freedoms, yes.
Uncle Alan and Darcy. I just want to say that man had a terrible gag reflex, and he hated that kind of mess. And for him to do that and be there and do that, man, it just, like I said, you can't just. There's no way
Who would
anybody
like
will
that,
fully
you know?
understand. What's that?
Who would like that?
No, yeah. Well, I
Nobody.
mean, some can tolerate it better than others, and he was at the least of that, you know.
You know, it's funny you say that, Arliss, because I remember the night that I got there when Grandma passed away, and there was a blizzard. Of course, my car got stuck in the driveway and all that, but he came running outside. He said, "I'll get your car unstuck. You go inside. Grandma's messed herself." I was like, on duty.
Smart man.
Yep.
And you know,
I do
just
that now.
you know, he put a lot of work into all of us and a lot of love, and he tried. He was a trier, and unfortunately, I am a very slow learner, and sometimes I don't even learn. And he had the patience, you know, the love and the patience. And you know, when you look at his Bible, you know, it's not like he just dropped that thing in a mud puddle once and it got dirty. That was years of accumulation and time, you know, that he put into that. He was not what they're trying to make him out to be, you know, ignorant, looking for a fight, or, you know, he was a peaceful, always looking to, you know, just live and love.
Better.
And, you know,
Yeah.
that's about.
And I think that's very apparent. Like, I think too many people focus on some of the like tiny little slightly negative moments in the interaction with Try and try to make him be
Well,
the
Try's a dick and we don't like him, so.
No.
like the man walked away. You know, he was trying to walk away and not instigate anything. And
Let me tell you and everybody out there, if Dad wanted to shoot a guy, he would have shot him between the eyes.
He didn't know that was coming. We can say that for sure. He was surprised.
yeah.
Amen.
And you can hear Try say it, you know, is anybody else on the property? No. Bang, 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 you know,
Yep.
just like that.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate.
Yeah. Tony, what's something that you've learned from Mike over this past year?
I mean, I think you highlighted this in one of your videos, was just we have to be asserting or reasserting our rights, and that's what Mike was doing. And I think there's probably there's not many causes, but fighting for your rights is definitely one to. I mean, it's disappointing that he had to have his life taken, but to not give any step to surrender your rights, I think, is important. And knowing, and I'm sure that Mike knew this, especially just based off his history and talking with some of you guys, is that when he was standing up for his rights, he was always under the understanding, especially with law enforcement, that there's that risk that comes with it. And I think that's important. I mean, we don't have our rights unless we're constantly reasserting them to public officials. So It's just unfortunate he did have to lose his life to hopefully get some more justice and a closer look at our institutions here in the county.
And he called it many, many times before. He said he was afraid of the law and for his life out there alone, you know, and
Yes, he did.
we to all of us.
Yes, he did. Multiple times on multiple occasions.
Oh,
He
years
was-
upon years.
He was definitely worried about being out there by himself because he thought that they were gonna kill him. And
They thought he was a nobody, and he wasn't.
he said that
There
so
was
many
a-
times.
You know, there with him and we were shooting into a dirt hill together, and he was convinced and told us that I am glad you guys were out here with me. Otherwise, I don't know if I would have been alive at the end of it.
Yep.
You know,
I
it's
think Arlis was there
bittersweet.
for that.
Yeah.
I was, you know, to a degree, I downplayed, you know, a lot of that, and I didn't think, you know, that would ever happen. And he was texting me a couple times that day, like, "What's going on?" I was trying to fix the truck, and you know, I was ignoring him. I was trying to get through it and get back, you know, and he kept trying to text me, and
Wanted you to get home.
yeah, get it done, get home, and you know, thinking about it, you know, I wouldn't say panicky, but come on, come on, come on, you know, and had I known, I mean, yeah, of course, you know, hindsight 2020. I look back and man, I just
That man was the only man that has never, well, the only person, honestly, that never looked at me with disappointment. Bittersweet. He may be gone, but I can at least say that he never gave me a look of disappointment. No once. Never.
Very much so.
He loved
Which
me.
actually, that reminds me. It kind of goes into what Darcy said. When my daughter was born, the advice that he gave me when she was born was, be loving but stern, and I
That's
feel
it.
like that was very much his method. You know,
That
loving
might
but
have to be a
stern.
title of an episode right there. Loving but
No
stern.
shit.
You just epitome.
That was what he told me when my daughter was born.
That was bad.
Wow.
I just want to say, our dad was a good man. He was a good man, and he didn't deserve this. I applaud you guys for trying to make this right. We appreciate you guys, and we hope that you go far with it. We're behind you. Dad was a good man. He was gentle, and he didn't deserve this. So thank you guys.
And I want to say that I say thank you, Jake, but that's kind of, you know, thank you, Kevin, and, you know, Tony, and everybody that, you know, I don't know and that is supporting this and behind it that I'll never meet or even know. I mean, just thank you guys especially.
You know, you were such a terrible person. How did I just pull a lizard out of my fucking hoodie?
You guys
Wait.
made his death not only sad, but kind of gave it a little bit of a purpose there. I mean, it doesn't change that he's gone, but at least something that he would want to come out of it is coming out of it. And that's win, lose, or draw with all of this stuff. It's nice for him to get his word out there and see. It would be awesome for him to see all of this. It really gave it purpose and something good to come along with it, which is really hard to do in a case like that. So thank you.
That was love.
Yeah. Thank you all. Y'all, we're coming up on an hour. This is only scheduled to be an hour for tonight. So I just want to thank y'all once again for being so willing and coming on this show and giving us all the info we could possibly need and you know, welcoming me into y'all's homes and letting me, you know, sit you down in front of a camera and record y'all for hours on end. I know from personal experience that's not fun all the time. So yeah, just thank y'all for everything. And yeah, we're gonna keep putting out episodes for the next couple months, and hopefully get through. What episode number are we on right now? Hopefully get 4 more episodes out in the next.
We're on episode 5. When's the next one, Jake?
Yeah, when's the next one, Jake?
The next
Yeah, Jake, when's the next one?
Thank you, because Honey Bear is not going to text me later and say when is the next one, Jake?
All right. This is not a firm date, but we're gonna go with here. Let me pull up my calendar. And guess.
He is blushing. He's just in a dark room.
I'm definitely blushing.
Great
I'm going to
producer.
go and
Did you get a word
say
from Kevin?
March
Did we
10th
get a
will
word
be
from
the
Kevin?
release of the next
From
episode.
Kevin? What did he like?
So we've got
March
2 weeks.
10.
Yeah, I think I can get the rest of it finished in 2 weeks. So March 10th will be the next episode. It will heavily feature Tim, Arliss, and Pam. It will be largely about Pam's life with and her friendship with Mike.
I wanted
Tim's,
to.
My property.
Tim's
Well,
yapping. What?
we
What's up,
didn't get
Tim?
a word from Kevin.
What about it?
Oh yeah, Kevin. What have you?
They
what have
just.
you
Oh,
learned?
I was gone, dude. I was like,
What do you got to
they always-
say, Kevin?
They
You
just
gotta
make
hear it.
fun of me.
Kevin, what have you? Kev,
They-
what have you learned from Mike over the last year of investigating all this?
Oh my gosh. It's it. How do you put that in a nutshell? And you said we're done in an hour.
He thought it was slide.
That man is not here, and he's taught me more patience. And I thought I had patience of a tortoise before. It's just when I don't have patience. But and you guys all seen that
Compared to
too,
Dad.
Not even close.
so I taught, and then standing up for your rights. I mean, we talk the talk, and people can get on and they sit here and they behind these keyboards and they do everything about standing up, asserting your rights and they all say I'll die for mine. And you see these things on TikTok about are you really going to die for a 200-year-old constitution? Yeah, I mean, you hear all of this rhetoric, you hear all this bullshit, all this noise and everything else, and then I learned another thing, like he was an MP, and then I would learn another thing, and I'm like in his Bible, and then the true story about it. But really, I was sold when he jumped the fence, man, and I was like, that dude. And then seeing the shots, right? Somebody who is, I want to call myself a semi-professional who loves to shoot. I've shot in all kinds of competitions and all kinds. And the way there was 2 seconds there, 2 seconds is eternity during that time. And he would have laid him out if he ever had saw that firearm. And I've struggled with a lot too. What has Mike taught me? Sleep doesn't matter. Mike has taught me. He's taught me how to put down a dinner again and run besides my children. And oh my God, the things that I have learned, that he made me learn through all of this too. And I think it's the legacy I heard is with his children and his grandkids and the animals. I never knew really what a legacy. You do know what a legacy is, and everybody wants to leave one. He showed me again what that is again, and I think he's going to show a lot more people again as this continues and stays out there, because this is not going to go away. And I hope it taught communities and other people that don't judge a book by its cover or whatever else you've heard too. Because man, after we dropped the third, everybody went bye. Nobody's commenting. Nobody. I mean, after we'd done that session, I could see him looking, going, "What do you got? What do you?" I could see Mike doing that. And I think Tony, me and him argued. I think we almost lost a friendship over. So he reminded me what friendship is. And me and Tony were arguing about the warrant one time, and Jake can consider too, because I mean I'd get heated, and it would get heated in the room, and where we were going with some of this stuff. So what has Mike taught all of us? I mean,
Everything.
Everything back over again. Obviously we all strive to be, and money's not everything either. There's another lesson that I learned.
Man was a minimalist.
It's the minimalist is the person that is there for eternity. And I've learned a lot through Mike through all this.
Heck yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know, everybody gets the talking part done, and when it comes to the doing, you know, there's only he made his mark. So, and
You're just fucking awesome, you guys. That's all I got. And then again, Matt, I'm going to smoke a cigarette.
Good idea.
On that
That's a
note,
really good idea.
Love my daddy.
all right, y'all. Well, yeah, again, thank y'all so much for hopping on tonight. I'm going to end the stream here in a second. Feel free to, you guys can stick around. We can chat after the stream ends if you want. But yeah, everybody out there, if you can go, if you have a few bucks or want to share this show, specifically the other episodes, like this one is a great one to learn more about Mike's family and Mike as a person. But the meat of the story, share the series, go to the website, donate if you can, and you'll start seeing advertisements come out extremely soon. And apparently a new episode will come out March 10th. Somebody just told me that. So all right, y'all.
Love the merch, guys, too. I see you guys all
I
got
see
your
merch.
sweatshirts on. Yeah, he's got his. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Gotta represent.
Yeah, right
Thank
on.
you guys.
Listen, I'm sorry, but I was eating dinner, feeding the kid, and I could have swore it was 6:30. So I had everything all timed on the thing. I was doing great. And then all of a sudden I get the text to bump up. Anybody know my life is turned upside down? I have another little one. And so it's like been anyway, I apologize for being late.
Better late than never, Kevin.
Yeah,
There you go.
life happens.
all right, everybody. That'll do it for tonight. Thank y'all so much for joining. We'll see you next time.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.